All right, so this training here, I'm actually really excited about our most recent installment of Ask the Broker. So as always, we're going to start this with our shameless plug. So for any of the agents in this office that know an agent, or if there's an agent outside of this office that wants to learn more about what we're teaching here, or learn more about the office, you can always scan the QR code or just reach out to us in whatever platform you are watching this video. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or whatever, please, number one, you can put them in the chat. I've got the chat open over here right now. Manny's note taker is leaving some message for us, so that's really awesome. Again, great you're here, Manny's note taker. And once I see the question, if we can, we'll answer it right away. If not, we'll definitely get to the end. If you want to write it down and just ask the questions at the end, we do always give an opportunity at the end to ask questions for us to answer them. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I not? I am Joseph Miranda. I am the broker and owner of this company. I am only a real estate broker. I'm not a financial advisor, an attorney. I am not a life planner. None of this here is meant to give you anything more than just a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more information on how to manage your business. Before making any financial or legal decisions, please consult the appropriate professionals. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about maximizing your CRM's full potential. Kind of like this guy right here. I hope he's not stuck. He should have a spotter. He should have somebody that's behind him trying to help him, but he doesn't. Looks like he might be struggling a little bit. But the reason we have this photo here is because this man appears to be powerful. He's got a lot of weight. I don't know how much those weigh, but they look like a lot. I believe that we have one of the most powerful CRMs out there in the industry right now. Before we switched over to this one, we did a lot of research, and the things that this CRM does allowed us to cancel 8 other subscriptions, 9 if you include the CRM that we were previously using, because this one does all of those, right? What is a CRM? So the way that I describe a CRM is the CRM is your central command. The CRM is, if you think about it like, any good central command system, it's going to tell you where people are. It's going to tell you where the problems are. It's going to tell you, what you need to do to solve that problem. It's going to help you with communications. It's going to, maybe offer you some insight, right? So when you're looking at it from a real estate standpoint, the CRM is literally your central command. And not just real estate, really any sales business. Anytime you're in sales, the CRM should be your go-to for literally everything. So the CRM does matter, right? The number one rule you have with the CRM is, what's the best CRM? It's going to be the one that you use. The number 2 rule with the CRM, you should log into it literally every single day, because if you're not, then you're not connecting with central command, right? So what CRM do we use? I'm sure that's no surprise to the agents in our office. We use Bold Trail. Bold Trail is an amazing CRM. It does so many things, and that's what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about all of the things that this CRM does. Now, what we're not here to talk about, back office. The agents in this office, you know what I'm talking about. We got Bold Trail and you have back office. Look at Bold Trail. That is your front office. That's your consumer-facing, technology. And then back office, well, that's literally your back office stuff. That's the stuff that the consumer does not see. That's how you're going to control things on the back end, right? So back office is more of contract to closing. Bold Trail is more of lead generation to appointment setting. If you just kind of look at it that way. We are going to reference back office a couple of times in this training. Fear not, we will be doing a training on back office. It's just, both of these are such huge systems. There's no way we could do all of this in the 1 hour that we've allotted for it. I don't even know if we can get through everything on Bold Trail within 1 hour, so please bear with me. I'm going to do the best I can. How are we going to cover this? We're going to cover this in the same way that we literally train everything in here. We're going to cover this based on your sales funnel. What is your sales funnel? It's lead generation, lead follow-up, going on appointments, writing and negotiate contracts, and closing those sales. And in the process, Bold Trail plays a role in everything. We're going to go through it at exactly this same order. So let's start with lead generation, because that is where everything starts, right? So number one, what's the first thing that we recommend you should do when you log into Bold Trail, when you use Bold Trail? The first thing you should do is set up your website. If you haven't set up your website already, I highly recommend that you do it. Bold Trail has a fully customizable back office system or back end system, I should say, that's going to allow you to go in, and it will default at the company settings, because it's going to have all of the same masks and all the same features that the company has. What we're going to do real quick here is we're going to show you on the back end where you're going to be able to, or in Bold Trail, on your dashboard, where you can find how to access your CRM, or not your CRM, your website, and then how you can also customize it and some of the different features. We're not going to give best practices on customizing. So if you see over here in the left bar, it says Web and IDX. That's where you're going to go. This is a very, very powerful website. This isn't, a basic standard, not, like cookie cutter website. You can literally customize just about everything in here. And if you understand coding, you can go a lot deeper than just your basic customization. Again, it's going to default at whatever the company's settings are, but we do highly recommend go in there, make sure that it's laid out how you want it to be laid out. The pages that you want. If you have blogs, you can put blogs in there. It does have different types of widgets that you can put in there. If you have a WordPress website that you've used previously, and keep in mind, when you're up at the top there in that top bar, look over to the left, because some of these on the left is going to be more settings. So for example, if we click website settings, if you click the little website settings button, over on the left side over here, once it populates, it's going to give you some different things: general, testimonials, template, custom navigation, listing carousels. Here's the one thing I would say: you can't break it. You can't break it. So, and then once you've done everything, you want to see what you've done, you want to see the changes, go to view website, right? You click the little blue button over here. It's going to say view website. This is going to give you a view of what your website looks like. I believe once this, once your website loads up and once you're able to view your website, there's some customization features that you can also make right inside here, or maybe it's not on the view website part. But there is a way. Oh yeah, editor. When you go to editor, you'll be able to see what your website looks like in person, or live, and then you can make changes to it kind of live and while you're looking at it, right? So you can change really a lot of things that the things that it says, the the way that some things are laid out. There's different functionalities that you can do once you get into the editor settings. So internet's not cooperating with us today. No worries on that. You know where to find it. Again, like I said, you can't break it, but you can totally customize your website. And everybody, no matter what, if you're in business, you should have a website. So take even just 30 minutes one day, flip through these different things, make some minor changes, change the theme, maybe change an image in there, decide what you want to be in there, decide what you don't want to be in there, put your bio in there if you want, like whatever it is you want to be in there. Just take 30 minutes, do it quick, click around, go around, move around on all of the different things, and just make sure that it's set up exactly how you want it set up. That way, when somebody says, well, do you have a website? You don't have to send them to the company website, where potentially they reach out to another agent on that site. Even though you sent them there, if they reach out to another agent and we don't know it, then that agent may end up getting a lead that you didn't want the agent to get. So send them to your own website. You can also get a custom URL. You can purchase one here if you want, or you can just go to GoDaddy or any other website where they sell URLs, and you can mask or cover this URL because it's going to be your first name, last name at my at MyMX Realty or whatever. So if it's me, I would probably get a custom URL. Doesn't really matter, right? Yeah, josephmiranda.mymxrealty.com. Like, get a custom one. It could say anything. It could say joesellsbeachhomes.com, right? Or the best real estate agent in the world.com. Doesn't matter what it is. It could really quite literally be whatever you want it to be. And then you can format the theme. You can format the branding. You can put everything together so that it matches what you want, what your branding is actually going to be, right? So another type of website that is not really a website, but something that everybody should be doing. Everybody should have sales funnels. If you're not sure what a funnel is, don't worry about it, because we're going to actually do a training on funnels, on sales funnels. But Bold Trail has features that are going to that integrate and create your top line funnel. So you don't have to subscribe to another funnel company. You can if you want, but you can set up all of your automations directly inside here. IDX squeeze page is one type of funnel that you can get. Your IDX it's the indexable properties that somebody can search on a website. So it's that search function. When you set up your website and somebody goes to your website and they go to search for homes, which, by the way, your website has all the same homes that the MLS has in it right now. So they're not going to be missing any data by going to our website. When you send people to your website, you can see the activity, you can see everything that's going on back there. But if you want to create an IDX squeeze page where you're sharing listings on social media, maybe you're advertising it, and you say this property here is for sale for this much, click here for more info. They click it, they're going to go to a squeeze page, and if they want to get more information, they're going to have to give you their information, right? What else is there? What other things do they have? They have a landing page. A landing page is something that's similar to a squeeze page, except it doesn't have that IDX functionality. A landing page literally just builds a page right here, and when you go to the top left, you can have lead generation. You can change around, video view. Like, this is fully customizable. Text code. You can change the background, and basically this is what you see when you're on like Facebook, and it says, I solved this problem by doing it this way. Click here to download my free resource here. Boom, right? They're going to click it, and it's going to take them to this landing page right here. And it's going to say, enter your email, phone number, or whatever you want to ask them for, first name, last name, right? You want to capture some of their contact information. So maybe you have a home seller's guide, right? Download my free home seller's guide, whatever. It does this and does this. They click it, and they put their information, and then it's going to set them up into, and you set up your automation so that the next email that goes out, boom, is your seller's guide. Right now you have their information, and what do? You dump value on top of that person. We're actually going to be doing a training on funnels very soon. All of the agents in our office, I think, should have funnels going. If you get a successful funnel, it can be a very inexpensive way to generate leads. I used to build funnels, and I used to run funnels for leads. Did really well for a long time. Then I just kind of got lazy and I stopped doing it. But I imagine if I would have kept doing it, you could really just get leads on demand just by building funnels, right? It's the same thing that a lot of these online leads companies do. They just build funnels and they sell you the leads that come through that funnel. That's all it is, right? When you click on Facebook and you say you want this download, or you want this information, or they're giving you something of value, right? Whatever your perceived value, in exchange for what? Their contact information, because that's currency. Because people pay for that contact information, right? So that they can do what? Email, call them, whatever. Contacts. So this is your most basic form of a CRM. is your contacts. Your contacts should be inside Bold Trail so that it's going to teach you all of the things. I'm going to hand this over to Irene because in this area, Irene is our sales manager. One of her jobs is to manage contacts. As you can see, we have a lot of contacts in Bold Trail. This one with that filter, but if we clear this filter here, you're going to see why our numbers are so terrible, right? The company total score on contacts is 46%. Do you know why they suck? That number sucks because there are so many leads in there that need to be worked that the company just cannot keep up with all of the leads, right? There's 94,475 leads in this system right now, and there's 1,441 that are new and need contact. 162 have passed due tasks. This is company numbers, right? 13 people are awaiting response, right? We do the best we can. If it's not our lead, we can't touch it, right? So we can't touch all of these numbers. But in our system, that company owned 94,475 leads. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to create a contact, and then we're going to show you how to filter and go through contacts. So Irene, I'm going to have you go ahead and go through this part.
Okay. So can everybody hear me? I think, right? Okay. So just wanted to touch base with regards to putting the leads in the system. So before I show you how to add a contact manually, you could also connect your leads here. Let's say you're purchasing leads from, I don't know, realtor.com, Zillow. You could actually connect those so that it would manually upload in the system and they could go ahead and have their own smart campaigns right away. So this is how you do it. So it will be under lead engine, and then you go to lead Dropbox. And from here, just click on that. You would be able to add, let's say for Joseph, Miranda, you would have this. So everybody of you that has the CRM can actually connect your leads in here. I believe realtor.com, I'm not sure if they would need an email address, but let's say with ZBuyer, they would just need an email address. For Zillow.com, I believe you have to connect it. But if you have any questions or concerns, let us know and we can help you. That way you don't have to manually upload your leads in the system. But if you need to upload your leads in the system, we could help you on that one as well. Just pop in on the lobby room. So going back to contacts. So let's just wait for it to load. So first of all, you have access to all the leads here. These are the lead pawns that you would have. And just so you know, we do upload leads every day, not just expired and canceled, but we do upload buyers as we receive them. Cash offer sellers, FISBOs, we don't really upload them anymore because, but I guess if you want FISBOs, just let us know. But Gold Mine Pond, these are the ones that we have from Sierra before. I try to tweak them a little bit as well, just in case, there are leads that are active on the website. I try to transfer them over. But this time around, I will teach you how to cherry pick those leads. Okay, so as you can see here, you have save filters here. So unfortunately, we cannot share the save filters with you guys, but you could actually create your own filters. Just like this one, I created one for us. We're in all of the new expired and canceled leads. It will automatically upload in here. So how would you create a filter? So you just go ahead and scroll down here. Just make sure first that you are under all contacts. So just scroll down a bit, show all filters, and then you can play around. Let's say you wanted, of course, the new ones, the new leads, and then you just choose what contact type, and then just leave these in here. Or if you want to go ahead and create a filter for the leads that you have, you could also do so, but you could do that under my contacts. And then this is a very important one, behavior. So what are the, let's say you wanted to work on the leads that doesn't have market reports yet, and you wanted to manually add them. You could also do that in here. Also property interests. Let's say you wanted to filter the leads that, let's say, view the listing. This is a very good one that we have been using so far. So you want to know who are the people or the leads that have been viewing the listings that we send out through search alerts and market reports. You could use that as well. Last active, so these are the ones, let's say, I don't know, send a text message or visited the website recently, you could use those. And then once you're good or happy with the results, I mean, with the filters that you created, you just click on view results. Let's say for this one, oh, I did not create. So let's say this is the one that we created. Okay. So these are the things that I created. So if you want them to show up in here, so you just save filter, pin this, and you name it. Once it's saved, I'm not going to save it for this one because we already have this. It will show up in here. And then you could go ahead and pile up all of those saved filters. That way, every morning when you have to do your calling, you could just go ahead and click those save filters. So I guess that's it for me for contacts right now. Oh, okay. Let me teach you how to add a lead now. So I think everybody has done this, but if not, then let's go ahead and add a lead right now. So we'll use just admin test. I hope the email that we have is not yet on the system. MyMixRealty.com. No, I'll use my cell 1889. So yes, yes. Be careful on turning these on as well. So we normally turn it on right away, but just in case that for example, well, anyways, the system would let us know if ever they said unsubscribe and whatnot, it automatically turns it off. So what address? So let me just pull up the address that we have in here. Okay, so this one, we will use this because we will also use this address later on for the other things that we will be using. So Florida. And then let's say this is a seller. And then just make sure you tag them properly. So this is a new lead. And then the lead source, because you could also check it at the later time. Let's say this came from the website. And then lead owner. So usually it has your name, but let me put it under company. And then you add your notes, and then we add the contact. Oh, thanks. So, yep, there you go. And then moving forward, we will go ahead and go to the next phase, which is lead follow-up. And Joe, go ahead.
Yep, which we will get to right after this. So before we jump into lead follow-up, let's talk about social media. So Bold Trail also has a way that you can advertise on social media. It has two different ways that you can use social media. Number one, so when you go into marketing and you just click social. So when you go into marketing and you click social, it will schedule, it will allow you to schedule automated social media postings. If you go to my social media, you're probably going to see these things on there because I use it, because I don't know, if we don't post anything otherwise, it at least does something, right? Maybe it doesn't show up in the algorithm, I don't know, but it's activity on your social media at least, so that if you're like, I don't want to do anything on my social media, right? But at least now, if, say 2 years from now, if you set this up today, 2 years from now, you decide that you want to use social media, you're going to have content on your social media. People aren't going to be like, oh, this account's been active since 2017, but they've only posted 3 things since then. Might be a scam, right? But if you've had stuff that's kind of steady posting, right? I got to reconnect X, right? But you can choose, what you want to talk about, what are your favorite things. So I chose real estate, food, architecture, interior design, DIY, finance, and economy. Holidays that you want to talk about, you can include those in there. I think I've probably got all the holidays in there. If you scroll at that little bar at the bottom, if you scroll it over, it'll tell you all of them. I'm not like, I don't really care about like what people think about holidays. I love holidays. So, I think we should celebrate all of them all the time. So this will just post those, right? Home improvement, travel, and it does it on your schedule. And it does it to the sites that you choose. It does not post to Instagram because Instagram has like a way to block this kind of stuff. If you use Instagram, then you know how Instagram kind of works and what their business model is, and they don't want this kind of stuff on there. It's different than Facebook, right? So use Facebook in that sense. Maybe you want to copy and paste it to Instagram somehow. You could definitely do that, but it will not. This won't post directly. But Facebook, LinkedIn, and X, this just puts content there so that stuff is being, your social media is being posted on. And then if you are posting on social media, this just kind of squeezes in the middle of it, right? So that, even if you didn't post something, for a couple of days, you're still going to have something that's going to post on there. The other way that you can use social media to advertise is you go over to listings and go to my listings, company listings, manual listings, sold listings. Doesn't matter where you go, right? So the company listings, you can absolutely advertise those, right? That's company policy. Doesn't matter whose listing it is, you can advertise them. If you want to advertise somebody's listing that is not in this company, you need to go to the MLS and make sure, number one, it should tell you, okay, to advertise, yes or no. You may want to, even if it says yes, just double check with the agent, get their permission. If it says no, you definitely need to get their permission. I recommend emailing them, hey, John, your listing at 123 Main Street looks great. Would it be okay if I advertise your listing? Sure, go ahead. Cool. Now what do? Here it is, 8302 Northwest 59th Street. This is a listing that's in the office. Very beautiful listing. You can advertise this today. More actions, post to Facebook, assuming you're logged into Facebook or X. You can make Craigslist ads. Apparently people are still doing that. I don't know why, but you can. And then you just click post to Facebook. When you go to post it to Facebook, you can also send it via text message or email it. Like you can literally advertise this and really anyway. You can print a flyer. You can create a presentation around this one. But let's say Facebook, right? Just for example, that's probably going to be the most popular one. You click it. It's going to, you have to be logged into your Facebook page. If you're not, it's going to ask you to log in. But once you're logged in, the draft is already going to be up there. It's going to be right there. And all you have to do is click, publish, or maybe you want to type something, right? I was searching properties for a customer and came across this gem. This looks like it's an incredible deal. Highly recommend, blah, 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 whatever, right? Doesn't matter. Whatever you want to say. Then what's going to happen when they click it, it's going to take them to that direct link. Right? So once they click your Facebook ad, it's going to take them to your website IDX, right? And they're going to be allowed so many clicks, so many searches, and then at some point they're going to have to enter their information because you want to capture their information. The goal behind getting them, see, this is mine. Even though this is Zalman's listing, this is my landing page, right? So I can take any listing that's in the company and I can advertise it on my Facebook, and you can advertise it anywhere, right? It doesn't matter because it's a company listing, right? Again, just use caution with agents that are not in this company. Make sure that you do have permission to advertise it. Then they can ask you a question, they can chat, they can request a showing, they can receive alerts, like all kinds of things. And then later on, if they want, they can come in here and they can do their own search, right? So they can do their own search, and then they can start searching properties on your IDX. Again, it has every listing that's in the MLS at the moment, so they're not missing anything by going here. Drive people here. Get your customers here, right? Anybody that you are not actively showing properties to right now that are more of a passive kind of email search, put them in Bold Trail. Don't be sending them a one home through the MLS because you're not seeing what they're doing, right? If you have them in Bold Trail, it links right with your CRM and it's going to tell you when they're active right on your dashboard. So definitely set up those two, get it consistent. My best practice for this type of search would be, you could have a listing of the week. You could have an investment property, right? Like, you could have flip homes. You could say, click here for a free list of all foreclosure single family homes in Fort Lauderdale, under 300,000. Boom, click it. You already got that search set up, right? You can literally, it's endless what you can do with this feature. And now what you're doing, you're driving them to your website, you're driving them to your IDX, you're building your credibility, you're building your brand recognition. Now you can see what they're doing on the back end, and it's going to tell you what they're doing on the back end, right? Agent resources, Irene.
Okay. So for agent resources, this is kind of new. Agent resources is not new, but remember, if you have been using our previous CRM, we always have what we call a calling checklist. So this time around on our agent resources, still the same page. All about calling, you would have bold trail calling checklist. So this is very important for lead generation and lead follow up. It's because this is what it will make. Um, it will give you notification, a holistic approach on how you would convert a lead. Let's say, for an example, when you make a phone call, it tells you how to claim the lead, and then how you make the phone call, and then you set up the follow-up action. This is very important when you're doing your calling, so that we could make sure, or I mean, you can make sure that, let's say you have a good conversation with the lead, or let's say, not a good conversation yet, but I don't know, let's say they responded to your text, or they have been viewing some properties. You want to make sure that you will be able to follow up on them. So, and let's say you already have, I don't know, 100 leads on your pipeline. I don't think you're able to remember all of those in one go. So why not go ahead and set them up on active campaigns? So all of them, all of the leads in your pipeline, all of the leads under your name, the ones that you've claimed, always have to have an active campaign. So where is that located? If we go back to what's the name, admin test. So it will be right here. So this is very important with lead generation as well. um so active campaign, so this one, you could go ahead and have them set up for a holiday drip campaign. Like, all leads should have holiday drip campaigns. If you see a lead that doesn't have one, you could go ahead and add one. And then the next one would be either, I don't know, buyer is for buyers, of course. Sellers are for like sellers. 360 means 360 days. The number zeros are the ones that are
Irene,
either.
the page, because of the way you're sharing, it's not showing the
Oh,
drop down.
is it not showing the drop down? At least, no.
No.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, but let's see. Let me
Well, in
try.
either case, they know where to get it, right? You go to the ad campaign and
Mhm.
you know how to get there.
Yep. And then, but anyways, just to make sure that you do not forget to follow up on them, you could go ahead and either do weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, quarterly. Everything is in there. And if you don't find what you're looking for, you could actually create your own one. So basically that's that. And as for part of lead generation, you always want to make sure that you have search alerts for buyers, and market reports for sellers. So how we approach this is like this, like from left to right. So you want to make sure you run the contact validation first. It's because this is where would validate if at least the email address is like legit, the phone number, it would try to search it on the internet. And then the next one would be make sure you turn on behavioral alerts. This one is already on, that's why it says turned off. That way you get a notification if something happened, or like the lead is doing something. And if they're actually searching for properties, search alert. And then for market reports, what we normally do is we'll just use the zip code. But if it's someone that you have already a very good connection, I would say try to tailor fit it as much as possible. Let's say, I don't know, the neighborhood. But in this one, we'll just use that. And we want to make sure that they also receive the listing valuation. You could update and send, and you could set it up every 2 weeks after that. That way, you don't really have to do a lot of things after that. So let's say you're scheduled to call them every month, at least they're receiving something from you. And they will be like in front of, you will be in front of the things that they're doing. And if they decided to like sell because they are, you know, they're happy with the price that you're sending them, or maybe they're pissed off, it's a good chance. I mean, it's a good conversation to start with when you call them. So that's that. Yep. And I guess we
Yeah,
can
and
move
just
on. Go ahead, sorry.
Just keeping in mind, if you don't set up a campaign, the lead will return to the pond. So, make sure if you have a good look, I don't even care if you have a good conversation. If you want to keep the lead, then set these things up, right? You can go into agent resources. There's the checklist is right there. If you don't know how to find it, if you can't find it, there's a search feature at top. If you still can't find it, then just pop into the lobby room, right? But you can go in there, you can search pretty much whatever you can't find, right? Doesn't matter what it is. So, but go through every time, and this will become second nature. It looks like a lot, but it's not. It's really not. It'll become second nature for you, and pretty soon you're going to have a fully optimized lead system running for you in the background. I get a lot of response. We get a lot of response to listing alerts, or not listing alerts. Sorry, property valuation, listing valuation. So this automatically every month sends them an automated value of their property's worth. It gives them a report. Right now, sometimes it's like, go jump in a river. I know that mine's worth more, whatever. I don't care, man. I'm happy that people are responding, because what does that mean? That means they're opening those emails. Listing valuations have a very high open rate. Search alerts. If you have a buyer that's not actively searching for properties, but you just want to, you're waiting for their pre-approval, or, they're just not quite ready to look yet for whatever reason. They're a few months out. I don't know, waiting for school to get out. Set up search alerts in Bold Trail. Don't set them up on one home in your MLS. They're going to get lost in there, right? They're going to get lost. Set up search alerts here, and then make sure you have some sort of follow-up campaign, or at least a follow-up task scheduled, so that now you're still hitting them with properties, right? But it's not blowing up your one home that you really should only be using for active customers. This is your follow-up, right? Which is actually going to take me into that next thing. We're going to talk about lead follow-up, right? So when that is the most important thing, when you're in the follow-up stage, you've created the lead, or you've taken it out of one of the ponds, right? You're in here now, and you've spoken to them, or you haven't spoken to them. They've responded to something, they haven't. Always make sure that you have a campaign set up for them so that you don't lose touch with them. So if I call somebody and they say, call me back in a week, I don't just schedule the task. If you could see this, it would say, seller weekly, there you go, monthly calling until day 600. That means every month this system is going to remind me to call this person. Call me back in a month. I won't just go up and schedule a task, which you can do, right? And the task feature at the top, you can schedule your own task, call them back in a month. But what if I mess up, right? What if I forget to hit OK or add task? Or what if I, get distracted and I start doing something else? I might not call them back in a month. But when you set up the monthly call campaign, that tells you. The other thing that I do is, no matter what I have to do, I schedule to call. Let's say I have to send them a CMA, right? I don't create a task, I create a call. Everything that I create inside there. So when you hit add task, or not add task, when you go to new call, you can schedule a call. And here I'll say create a CMA. And the reason is because when I go into my dashboard in the morning and it gives me all my calls and tasks, I work off of my calls. I don't work out of my tasks. Right now, I do look at my tasks. You got to clear those daily. There could be some other tasks that you have to do, but everything I do, I create it as a call. Why? Because I know that I'm in the power hour room Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., sometimes 11, sometimes noon, doing these phone calls. So I'm going to come across this, and rather than trusting myself to catch the task that maybe I didn't even open the task thing for the day, I know that I'll be in that call list. So know yourself, know how you work, right? So look, I got 122 other tasks, but they're just random kind of things, right? Some of these are Irene as well. So don't, blame me. I blame Irene. So make sure you have these smart campaigns started. The other thing, going on appointments. So we talked lead generation, we talked lead follow-up. Now let's talk about going on and setting appointments. Two very, very cool features. Before I jump to that, make sure you're taking notes all along the way. when you have a conversation with somebody, make sure you're taking notes. Because if you call somebody 6 months from now, I'm sorry, if you call somebody today and they say follow up with me 6 months from now, you might forget. And when I do notes, if I speak with a man, I put Mr. in front of it, right? Mr. Admin called. If I speak with a woman, I put Mrs. Admin called. I don't just put admin called. Do you know why? Because it might be a husband and wife phone number. It could be a home phone, right? If I just put admin called, I'm going to call them up. I'm going to go off these notes. Hi, is this, Judy, right? John and Judy Smith. Okay. Hi, is this Judy? Yeah, this is Judy. Hey, Judy, I just called, we spoke 6 months ago and, I don't, the note didn't make any sense, but you told me that admin called. She's going to say, what? What are you talking about? Right? Well, no, she doesn't know what I'm talking about because I actually spoke with the husband. But had I put Mr. in front of it, Mr. Admin called, I can say, hey, is this Judy? Yeah. Hey, Judy, this is Joe Miranda with MX Realty. I actually spoke with your husband, John, about 6 months ago, and he told me that admin called. And I'm just following up on that, right? Again, this conversation makes no sense. But now I know, based on Mr. or Mrs., if I spoke with the husband or the wife, so that 6 months later, because I don't remember the phone call, I only remember it because I put the notes in here, right? So I don't remember who I spoke with, right? Hey, I spoke with you. No, you didn't. Oh, shoot. I just lost credibility. How do I follow up on that? Oh, maybe it was your husband. I don't know. You sound like a man. Did you know that? I don't know. All right. Next thing, you set the appointment. So 2 very important features in here, 2 things that I love. Number 1, there is an appointment setting feature in this. I've used this for every appointment that I've set since I've figured out that it does this. This is very effective and it's very professional. Just know that your description, they will see it, right? So don't put something, that you don't want them to see in there, like gonna go list this fucker's house, right? Because if you put that, I don't know who would do that. Don't do it. But if you put that, they're gonna see it, right? So, just put, meeting with John and Joe. Right? Or yeah, you could put the address. You could put really whatever you want them to know that appointment is, right? Buyer consultation, right? Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter what you put in there. Just know that they will see it, right? And then you're going to set the appointment. And when you set the appointment, right, there you go, email and text reminder. That's amazing, right? That's amazing. And people respond to these. They will confirm the appointment. Yeah, make sure you put the address in there, right? Make sure you put the actual address in there wherever you're meeting, right? And then when you set the appointment, it's going to send them a text message, and then it's going to tell them you can cancel it or reschedule from here, right? There it is. That's what it's going to look like. That's amazing. Open in Maps, right? Like you schedule, you're calling buyers in the system, and they say, you know what? I saw this listing 123 Main Street. I want to go look at this. Cool. What day and time? Cool. I'll meet you there. Put it in here. Now they can open a map, right? Now it's going to confirm with them, or maybe they're going to cancel. It doesn't matter, right? Well, it does matter because you want them to confirm, but you also want to know if they're going to cancel. Amazing. Add it to your calendar, right? This is a really good tool to be using. It's going to take you just a notch up on that professionalism, right? It's a tool that really I think everybody should be using. The other really cool tool for appointments is Present. There's 2 ways to find Present. You can find it right here, Present Add, right? But we're not going to go that route today because we've already got some pre-built, and it takes a little bit of time to kind of build these up, but it's super straightforward. The first page you go to, and then if you go to marketing and then just click Present, get started, and then it'll show you all of your presents that you ever built, right? So we can click any of the presents that we've already built, and we just go to update, right? Because once you built it, it's in there. Click update, right? And then you can change it. If something changed and you want to send them a new one, you can. First page, you're building out your CMA, right? So there's your CMA. So I like to use the polygon feature personally because then I can kind of highlight the neighborhood. However, if you don't have to, you can do whatever you want, right? I also like to use satellite instead of map because when you look at the satellite, you can actually see the roofs, and you can see on the map you know, see, like right there is where there was my polygon, all those little L-shaped buildings. Obviously, that's the neighborhood, right? Obviously, that right there, that's the neighborhood, right? So I'm going to draw my little polygon shape, you know, directly around there, right? Once I've done that, I'm going to choose the property type because the default that's single family. I don't want it to default as single family. In this case, it's condos, right? I can change my bed count. You know, how many beds is it? You click the little blue pencil to change the number, right? Or you know, so if I want to put 2 bedrooms or 5 bedrooms, whatever I want to put. Obviously, this neighborhood probably only has 3 bedrooms, right? Bath count, square footage. Square footage will give you a 20% range one way or the other. You can adjust that if you want, or not. Who cares, right? I care. Year built. You know, any of these close dates should be within 6 months because it's got to be a relevant closing date. You wouldn't go back 2 years, right? And then once you've done all of this, it's going to populate the listings and it's going to tell you what you have. Right now, 9 sold, 1 pending, 12 active. Wow, exactly what the MLS would have told them, except now you're going to go to next, build your CMA. So when you build your CMA, this is fully interactive now, right? So this is actually the page, one of the pages that they're going to see in the CMA, right? You know, so when you get there, it's going to bring up all of these listings that came up, right? And you can click on any one of these listings, like let's say this top one, 136 Northeast. Boom, look at that. You can see everything, right? And you can, you know, you can remove them if you want. You can add new ones. Like you can do whatever you want. You can click in there. You can go through the photos. But this is what they get, right? So imagine if you send this to them before you go on the listing appointment. Now they have everything. Now sometimes you haven't seen the property yet, right? Because it's going to ask you to enter your own values. You could enter your own values or you could not. What I do, I put the minimum range is the lowest number, the lowest sale in the neighborhood, and I'll put my max range, the highest sale, and my price would be right there in the middle of those two, right? Whatever that middle number is, that's what my price is going to be, right? You could, if they say mine's the nicest one in the neighborhood, maybe you want to skew it towards the top. Maybe if it's the worst, ugliest one, it's all original, you know, the roof fell in last week, then skew it towards the bottom. If you don't want to do it, just don't do it. Doesn't matter, right? But let's say you get through that, right? Now you're all done with there. Click at the top, create presentation. This is where your listing presentation sits. We are in the process of editing this to adding more slides to this. You don't have to use this how it's set up. You can add your own slides. You can remove any of the slides. But where you're going to start right now is your emphasis in the top left corner. I usually put make me list if it's a listing appointment. If they tell me that they're working with another agent, then click I'm shopping you. And you notice when you click through to the different ones, it changes the order of the slides. It doesn't change the slides. It changes the order, right? So just, you know, keep that in mind. You know, contingent. You have a listing and you're trying to get, you know, they got an offer. You want to send them, you know, the CMA or whatever, then send them the contingent one, right? Like, you know, then they're going to see, you know, what's going on. So, you know, once you choose that, then choose your theme. You know, choose your theme, you know, traditional, modern, luxury, whichever one you like the best. You can kind of get it, you know, it gives you a preview of what each of these goes through. It doesn't matter which one you choose, just whichever one you like. And I always do mode presentation, right? I don't change that. I mean, you could if you want, but you don't have to. If you want to go through your presentation, if you want to you know, see what's in each of the slides and see how they would do it, over there to the right, see where it says next and previous. You're going to right below web PDF, you're going to click next, and you're going to see exactly what they see. I don't know if you can interact from, yeah, you can interact from here. So if you click one of these, brings it up, right? This is what they see. This is powerful. Imagine if you're in a listing presentation and you're on an iPad and you're going through this on your iPad, right? Like this is a very, very powerful tool. Once you've got all your slides and you've got everything, you can see add slide over there to the left, that little plus add slide. You can add slides if you want. You don't have to. You can take slides out. There's a little X. You can X them out if you want to. Send it how you like it. Look at this. This is market data in the neighborhood, right? Listings are fresh. Sometimes you'll see stale. I'm like, oh, that sucks. It's stale, right? but this gives them market data in the neighborhood. This is a powerful, powerful tool. Why? Because it's pulling all the data from the MLS, right? It's pulling all the data from the MLS. So once you're done with this, present and share. It's ready to go, right? It's just how you want it to be. You're ready to send it out, present and share. First thing you're going to do is you have to make sure that this is connected. See, save and add client. We've already done it, so it won't let us do anything here. But you want to find your client. If you didn't go from the bold trail, if you went through the present way, you're gonna have to save and add client. Later on, we'll show you if you because you have back office, you can add the listing agreement link, right? Which means you can create all of your listing paperwork in the back office, and you can add the link to that paperwork here, so they can even review the listing paperwork before you even show up. You don't have to put the price. You don't have to put the commission. You don't have to just put what you want them to see, right? Put, this is the basic listing agreement. We'll go through it more, but just so that you can preview it before I show up, right? A net sheet, you can put the 3 different, right? High, medium, low price, or high, higher, highest, right? Like whoever your customer is, you can put your create the net sheet, right? You can pre-record a video and add a video link. So, if you have created on YouTube, or you could put it inside Google Drive, and then you can send a video URL, and it could be generic, right? I know Carolina is very good with videos. So, Carolina would say, hola, soy Carolina. And then whatever she says after that, I don't speak Spanish. And you can introduce yourself. Hey, I'm Joseph Miranda. This is who, what I do. This is how I work. Thank you for your time. Blah, 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 blah. Now they got a face, right? When you're ready, email presentation. If you want to print it later. Obviously, it's not going to be interactive on your paper. And then, or you can just copy, if maybe you want to text it. Copy that, go back to their contact in Bold Trail, and then text it to them, right? Doesn't matter. But you have the link now. So now you just go back into Bold Trail and you text it. Boom, there it is. And they click it and they open it. It's an amazing tool, and I think it presents itself very, very well. It presents itself very, very well. Yeah, and then the other thing is you can use this on a buyer consultation as well, right? You can use this on a buyer consultation as well. So go right here, buyer tour, win the offer. You've got all these different templates that you can start with, right? So definitely use this feature. All right, writing and negotiating contracts. So again, this is really going to be more into back office, which we'll talk about later. But the one thing I will say is when you do convert a lead that's in Bold Trail, you can, through the transactions at the header there, you can create the transaction here, and then Bold Trail or back office is going to go into Bold Trail and pull that data out, and it's going to populate everything that it needs to know inside back office. So you've kind of already started to build that back office file with a lot of different things, right? So that's about as far as we're going to go into it on, the writing contracts part, because that's going to feed more into there. And then closing contracts, make sure that after you've closed the contract, you change it to closed. Now, this doesn't change anything right now. We don't have big, massive email campaigns. What we've found is that when you send emails that just sit and tell them how great you are and why you should use me and why you should this, a lot of people unsubscribe for them because those are annoying emails, right? So, you can create your own annoying emails if you want. And then you can have each of those different sphere, prospect, new lead, active lead, client, contract, close. You can have it trigger certain things, right? Email campaigns to start, one email to go out, text messages to start. Where these are going to start being triggered for us is going to be in our sales funnel. So when we teach you, when we do the training on how to build a sales funnel, these will probably be one of the features that you will be moving people through, but not yet, right? If you want to create your own, you can do that. You can create your own email campaigns But just beware that if you're sending spammy emails, they're going to block you, right? And then why have an email address that's blocked? You can't email them. Why have a phone number that you can't call? You can't call them, right? So you don't want to be spammy with people. But either way, change the close. And then the other thing is you can start a post-close campaign over there to the right. That does cost money through Bullet Trail, but what it does is for the next 12 months, it will set up a campaign to help you get repeat views, pretty much, anything there. I haven't used it yet, but, I hear it's good. I don't know if it is or not. And then the last part is going to be the reports. So you can see how well you're doing. By going to your vitals, you're going to see how well you're engaging your customers, right? Going into your vitals, you can see your score, right? So, choose yourself. For me, so, I could choose myself. I would go to the company, go to the draw. I think it just gives you, I don't think that you can choose other people. We really only have that. By the way, that means that we can see what you're doing, right? This is our accountability here. My total score is 76. I'm not leading by example, right? I try. I swear I do. We can go to a leaderboard. We can see who has the top score, which, by the way, we're going to start highlighting the top agents for the previous month on this leaderboard, because the higher your score is, the more you're the more you're keeping up and interacting with with your Bullet Trail. It means that you're doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. So shout out to Lorna, Carolina, and Augie. You three, you're the top 3 scores. Lorna and Carolina, yours is very high. Augie, you're right there, right behind them. So very, very cool. But you can go in here, your source performance, pipeline, engagement. I mean, go in there and check your vitals, man. Right? And don't forget about the little gray bar at the bottom, because there's a lot of data in there that you can't see on this page, that when you slide that little gray bar at the bottom over, it's going to tell you, everything, a whole bunch of other stuff, right? Like it's going to tell you a lot. And then you can look, and maybe, if you have an analytical mind, you can work on that, right? So what should you do today? You should do a lot. Right? So at the end of all of these, we give you an action plan. We tell you, what, based on this, what we think you should be doing, and that's why this guy's really upset, right? So in the same order that we trained it, and we're going to attach this to our training, so you can, print this or whatever. There's going to be a lot of things that you can print from this training, but you can, number one, set up your website, automate your social media, create your first landing page funnel. Right? At least mess with it, right? Add all of your contacts and make sure that they're all in smart campaigns and some sort of follow-up campaign. When you schedule appointments, start using appointments and use present on all appointments, right? Every day, right? Let's skip ahead to, let's log in and call daily. But when you're doing that, make sure you're clearing your tasks and your follow-ups every day. If you get stuck, use the chat button for quick support. The little chat button in the bottom right corner. Right? ABC, always be closing. So if you're logging in and you're calling every day, make sure you're asking for the appointment, and then check your stats every day so you know what your KPIs are. This was like drinking from a fire hose, I'm sure, right? The intention here is not to make you an expert on Bullet Trail in a single 1-hour session. The goal here is to make you aware of what Bullet Trail can do. I'm sure it does more. These are the things that we know that it does right now. As we continue to implement and learn what Bullet Trail does, we will continue to share it with you. You can also advertise on Google. You can also advertise on Facebook. It will do paid advertising for you. It will set all of that up for you. There's a lot more things that it does than what we just talked about today. This is how we're using it today. This is how we're using it right now. In a few months, we may do a follow-up, not to talk about this stuff, but to talk about some more high-level things that we're doing and how we're doing it. We will definitely be talking about building sales funnels. I think those are really very important for lead generation. Everybody should know how to build a sales funnel. Whether you build it or not, there's still a lot to be learned from learning how to build a sales funnel. this being said, yeah, I'm going to end it here. We're 1 minute over. I can't believe we made it on time. Does anybody have any questions, any comments, any thoughts, any concerns about what we talked about today? Okie dokie.
All
One
good.
final, what's that?
No, it's saying all good. Thanks, Joe.
Awesome. Thank you. That being said, one final shameless plug. Agents, you know, we're asking you, please, you know, if you love us, please share us with your other agents and friends. We are actively looking to grow this brokerage with great agents just like the ones that are on this call right now. It's not in here, but you all already know about our revenue share. We are working on making things better and better and better as we go. You can share this QR code, and any agent that's made it this far watching this training, if you want to learn more about MX Realty, you can just scan that QR code or just reach out to us in the comments, send us a direct message. Next week is going to be our roundtable real estate mastermind. These are opened to all real estate agents. So if you have an agent friend that's not in this brokerage, you can invite them to this. We do not use these as a recruiting tool. We're not going to try to recruit somebody that shows up to these. So, you know, if the agent, you know, doesn't want to come because they think that we're going to like try to aggressively recruit them, just let them know, fear not, we will not do that. So thank you all very much. And then our training after that is going to be our next roundtable group coaching mastermind. I don't know if that's going to be on funnels. We've got a couple of individuals that we're working out to try to do some training. Also, we are partnering with an attorney that's going to be doing continuing education training for us, so you can get your CEU credits by attending these trainings right here. So we are working on getting that going as well. We want to make it easy for everybody to get their CEU credits. So, well, that's it. That's all we have, everybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody that's here. Thank you for everybody that sat and listened to me for this long. I know it's probably not easy, but hopefully you learned something. And hopefully if you just take one thing and apply to your business, hopefully that's going to move the needle for you. And again, if you need anything, pop in the lobby room. Don't stay stuck. You know we're here for you. Take care, everybody.